All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to talk about Gervonta Davis being replaced by Jaron Ennis as the guy that is being targeted and looked at by a certain crew or group of people to try to tear him down. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're gonna put our little tinfoil hats on, right, and talk about the conspiracy to tear down Gervonta Davis and how that conspiracy has now shifted over to Jaron Boots Ennis as he returns in style to become a unified world champion. Something that is a very significant accomplishment in his life. He did not get it by beating one guy. He got it by beating two guys for those two belts. So, hey, man, he's looking good. He knocked out Amanda Stanionis, looked completely dominant in that fight. So he looks like he's back on in the public mind, right? Well, no. Before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for your continued support. It absolutely positively makes a huge, huge, huge deal to the channel. But let's get back into this. Gervonta Davis has a crew of people around him that would say the following. Gervonta Davis, he's too dominant for 135 pounds. They've been starting saying that right after he got his big win versus Ryan Garcia. Gervonta Davis is too strong. He's too good. He needs to go up in weight. He needs to leave that weight class and go chase greatness. Now, why did they say that he needed to go chase greatness? Because there was a crew of people, the Teofimo Lopez's, the Devin Haney's, the whole four king imaginary deal, right? Where they say Gervonta Davis needs to chase them up into 140. He needs to fight Devin at 140. He needs to fight Teo at 147. He even needs to go up and fight Boots at 147, right? Or whatever the weight classes that these guys were talking about. Before, a long time ago, they would talk about how Gervonta Davis needs to fight Keith Thurman next, right? Just silliness where you have a guy that basically is a blown up 130 pounder fighting at 135, dogging people out at 135. And to find a way to steal this guy's shine, they start trying to put the pressure on him to leave the weight class and go away, right? Out of the 135 pounds so they can go chase the people that they want them to fight, right? Well, I just discovered an amazing coincidence that kicked off at about the same time. Jaron Ennis now, once he became a unified champion, and he didn't look bad in the fight, right? He had Karen Kukadjian, they said, oh, he didn't look good against Karen Kukadjian. Whatever. He fights a unification fight versus Amanda Stanionis, right? Blows out Amanda Stanionis. So what is it now? It's time for him to leave the weight class. He is a weight bully. He needs to go to 154, go chase greatness to 154 and leave the weight class. Now, what I am positing to you is that these arguments are for the same reason. Just like they wanted Gervonta Davis to move up so Devin, Teo, Ryan, and the rest of that, really it's Devin, right? So that he can move up and fight Devin, right? At a weight class would be more comfortable for Devin. That's what he has to do to prove his greatness. That's what he needs to do, Gervonta. But who is that for? It's so that he can go chase Devin Haney. He can go chase Teofimo Lopez because that's the fan base that's talking about it. Well, not the Teofimo Lopez, but definitely the Devin Haney. So how does that compare to Jaron Ennis? Well, once Jaron Ennis is a unified champion and he's only a couple fights away from being an undisputed champion at 147, and Devin is actually fighting in the weight class now, because he's fighting at a catch weight, I do believe, against Jose Ramirez. I do believe Teofimo Lopez is fighting at a catch weight. I know Ryan Garcia is fighting at a catch weight. I know Ryan Garcia is fighting a catch weight. Maybe Teofimo may not be because he's the WBO champion. But for sure, Devin and Ryan are going to be at catch weights. And guess what that catch weight means? It means you're in the 147-pound division. If you're fighting at 144, if you're fighting at 143, 145, 146, you are in the welterweight division. The welterweight division begins at 140.1, all the way up to 147.0. But at 147.1, you go to the 154-pound division. So basically, Devin Haney is already campaigning in a weight class where Jaron Ennis is a unified champion. So what are their people saying? It's time for Jaron Ennis to drop the belts and move up. Because they want Jaron Ennis out of the way. They know full well there's no way on this planet, none of those dudes that they're talking about being these historical figures, right? Like Devin or whatever these dudes are talking about. Ain't no way these dudes are going to go to 147 pounds while Jaron Ennis is there. My prediction, as long as Jaron Ennis is at 154 pounds, you will see Devin Haney fighting at catch weights, Ryan Garcia fighting at catch weights, and calling themselves basically the catch weight crew until it's time to challenge for one of those belts. Now, they're probably not going to go after Brian Norman, because Brian Norman is going to probably knock out Devin. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I think Brian Norman may be too much for those guys. And a lot of trouble for those guys. So they're not going for Brian Norman. You know they're not going for Jaron. And then what are they going to go? They're going to go hopefully to try to get maybe Mario Barrios. What's the chance of them getting a Mario Barrios fight? Next to zip. Because they're not big money dudes and they're on a different network. Completely different network, right? So anyway you go, you're going to wind up seeing, as long as Jaron is there, you're going to see a big push calling him a weight bully. You're going to see a big push talking about how he's ducking the smoke at 154, how he should be fighting Sebastian Fundora, and that's the big fight that they want to see. You're going to have a big bug-eyed fake that buys a lot of views or has a lot of, let me rephrase that, a big bug-eyed dudes that get a lot of views bought for him. Because trust me, you can't afford to buy all the views that are getting bought. So that's an entity buying those views. They're going to start pushing that narrative. They're going to start pushing that line that it's time for Jaron Ennis to go. Jaron Ennis needs to chase greatness. Now, you will also see that there will be a shift between what greatness means. Because Jaron Ennis is a weight bully at 147, there's no need for him to get an undisputed title at 147. He needs to go to 154 because he's the weight bully. That's what you're going to hear. There's not going to be a push. We already know what he can do here. Go all the way up. So what you can so that what can happen? Those guys can go in there and fight for the belts that Jaron Ennis left behind. And they may even be able to make an argument down the road and say, hey, Jaron really ducked Devin because he left the weight class. All of the slander, all of the nonsense you've heard from Jaron about Gervonta Davis is going to pour over to Jaron Ennis the more successful Jaron Ennis becomes. Trust me on this. I've been paying attention to this for a while. But what that should tell you is that you got a real one. Because Errol Spence Jr. was a real one, getting the same stuff from the same people. You have Gervonta Davis getting the same stuff from the same people. Now you got Jaron Ennis getting the same stuff from the same people. You had Floyd Mayweather Jr. getting the same stuff from the same type of people. And you had Muhammad Ali getting the same stuff from the same type of people. And you're going to continue to see it. However, that's why you just got to continue to support, enjoy the majesty and the magic of that man's abilities in the ring, because Jaron Ennis, I truly believe, is a special fighter. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.